A deadly tornado hits Iowa, and city residents clean up the aftermath.
And Ukraine takes in new residents that are fleeing from Russian shelling.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Jalen Jackson.
And I'm Andrea Valdez. Sarah Hensley has become the new Denton interim city manager amid two major county lawsuits. Hensley said she is looking forward to tackling a variety of issues now that she has been placed in the position. Denton City Council formally offered her the job on February 22nd and approved her contract on March 1st. The city has spent almost $25,000 in its search for a full-time city manager. She has various tasks on her to-do list, such as overseeing the completion of homeless shelters. We look forward to seeing what she accomplishes in this position.
Is there a light at the end of the COVID-19 tunnel? Just this past week, over 10 million COVID cases were reported worldwide. While this number may seem larger, studies show that there has been a 5% global decline of COVID-19 cases and an 8% decline of COVID deaths. The World Health Organization states that while these statistics are true, one thing to consider is the decrease of COVID-19 testing. On top of COVID data causing confusion, the weather in Texas can't seem to make up its mind. This weekend we were in the 80s, and now we're in the 50s?
Believe me, I am just as shocked as you are, Jalen. And let's see if our weather anchor, Ryan Cantrell, can clear the air for us. Ryan?
Temperature drop was caused by Sunday night's cold front, and I can confidently say that this week is looking pretty stable except for Friday, which we will have another cold front, but I'll talk about that later. But currently in Dent, we're currently at 51 degrees actual temperature, sunny skies, and with the wind chill at 49 degrees with those winds at north at 6 miles per hour. Now on to tonight, those clear skies will remain, and the temperatures will dip to 47 with a wind chill at 30 degrees, northerly winds at 11 miles per hour. On to tomorrow, we'll see some partly cloudy skies. Temps will be in the low 40s at 41 degree actual temperature, wind chill at 31, and winds to the north at 24 miles per hour. Now that's all I have for my first look. Stick with us as I talk about my full weather and next week's cold front. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. Hundreds of Iowa residents are working together to clean up after the devastating tornadoes left many with damaged homes and neighborhoods scattered with debris. CNN's Kayla James has a story.
It's hard to miss the bigger things. A now standalone dryer, cars, garage list with shattered windows, and debris too large to be moved by anything but an unloader. But what's easy to miss is the baseball glove, the Christmas garland in a crumpled heap, and the mementos buried beneath leaves.
Looking for pictures actually is what we're doing.
Devastation is plain as day in rural Madison County, both on the ground.
The storm completely destroyed this place.
And in the voices of volunteers.
Unbelievable.
But there's an underlying tone of determination.
We found pages of abstract all across this hillside here.
As hundreds of Iowans did what they do best on Sunday.
It's just that. Okay.
Work together for each other. Saturday's tornado changed the lives of families living across Carver Road, leveling homes to their very foundation. But in the days to come, the storm is bringing Iowans together, something that didn't go unnoticed by Governor Reynolds, who spent time in hit areas.
And over, the response was, we're Iowans, and that's what we do.
Wheels on the ground, volunteers moved into action, cleaning up just a few of the 52 damaged homes throughout the county. And with equipment in hand, they cut through the damage. But never once did they forget to look down and make sure nothing of value was left behind.
Rebuilding is a long process, so it's great to see that so many people are working together to help the families affected by the tornado.
A tornado lifted a bathtub that an Iowa couple were hiding in, suspending them almost 100 feet in the air. Judy Clark survived. Her husband unfortunately did not. CNN's Laura Terrell has more on the story.
Family members embraced in tearful hugs Monday outside a Madison County home leveled by Saturday's violent tornado.
Their house was right over there in kind of that black dirt area.
A flat, muddy field is all that's left of Judy and Rodney Clark's home of 20 years.
He was changing the brakes on his truck, and Judy came yelling at Rod, "You got to get inside, the tornado's coming."
The EF4 twister slammed their house, sending the couple airborne for 100 feet before they landed in a pile of rubble.
Pretty much right by that little bit taller pole right by the road is pretty much where they were buried underneath the debris.
Judy survived. Rodney did not.
They're inseparable, so I think she's just having a hard time processing how she was the quote-unquote lucky one.
Married for 2 decades, Rodney and Judy had a life full of joy. They loved dancing and riding horses and were never apart. That's why their family was not at all surprised to learn Rodney's final act was trying to protect his wife.
He laid on top of her and held her close and pretty much saved her life.
Lying on top of his wife in the bathtub to shield her, Rodney died a hero in a final act of love.
I just knew that was him. That was something that he would definitely do.
A selfless father of 3 and grandfather of 9, Rodney's legacy lives on in the memories he leaves behind.
He used to make everything fun, even if I was sad.
I'm going to miss him so much because now whenever I'm going to have a wrestling tournament, it's just not going to feel the same without him watching.
Judy's family has set up a GoFundMe page online to help rebuild their home. Coming up, United States officials' caution arises as the war between Russia and Ukraine continues.
And the state of Florida passes the Parental Rights in Education bill.
Kennedy, the president of Black Film Club, and what I love about BFC is the atmosphere and the members. The family feel that we have in our club is really genuine. What about you, Bree?
My name is Bree. I'm the vice president of Black Film Club, and what I love about Black Film Club is it's a small but close, little family. You know, I feel like a lot of times when you go to a PWI, it's hard to find a Black community that share the same interests in you. So I'm very blessed and grateful to have, found my family.
What I would say I like about Black Film Club is obviously the environment that it sets for everybody. I love the officers. I've been rocking with basically all of them since day one, since freshman year. We all came in here at the same time, all got involved with Black Film Club at the same time. So it's been a nice community to grow with, and then seeing new members come, seeing them get interested, seeing how they like Black film, teaching them what we can teach them before we leave, and giving them the mantle to take over. It's a blessing.
The Ukrainian city of Lviv has become a place of refuge for thousands of Ukrainians fleeing from Russian invasion. Now the city's mayor is pleading for outside help as the city struggles to cope with the influx of new residents. CNN's Michael Holmes reports from Lviv.
In one of the best-known theatres in Ukraine's cultural capital, Lviv, no audience to be entertained, rather families seeking shelter from war. We never imagined we would end up living in a theatre, Evgeny tells us, We never imagined leaving our home and fleeing our city. Tamila says she fled Kyiv 2 days ago to get her kids out of danger, leaving her mother and husband behind. Now she contemplates what's to come.
We lived happy and we have plans for future, for vacations, for our babies, for studying of our babies, and it was a happy future.
Throughout the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Lviv has been nervous but otherwise an oasis of relative quiet. And that's made this city a destination for those running from where the shells are falling. Most of them are moving on to the border, but more than 200,000 have decided to stay here. Lviv welcoming them, looking after them. But now the city's mayor says Lviv is full and we need help.
This has put a lot of pressure on us and the infrastructure of Lviv. I would like to address international organizations asking for support. We need you now and we need you here.
Andriy Sadavoy is pleading for tents, food, medical supplies. He says more than 400 cultural and educational facilities are being used to house the displaced. Here, a school, a place of learning in normal times, now a place of refuge for families not knowing their next move, other than it won't be going home.
It is difficult to imagine how this craziness began. For the sake of what? For what reason are they killing people? What have we done to deserve this?
Lviv, an historic city in need of help. The impact of this war being felt well away from the front lines. Michael Holmes, CNN, Lviv, Ukraine.
The city is struggling to gather enough resources to aid the incoming refugees. We will keep you updated on how the country is handling the situation as we learn more.
U.S. officials plan to proceed on a bill that would ban Russian energy imports and challenge where Moscow stands in the World Trade Organization. CNN's John Laurent has more.
Ukrainians remaining defiant in the face of danger, protecting their country from the Russian invasion.
It's our land, independent. Nobody can enter our land. And if someone is entering, we have to answer.
At least 474 civilians have been killed in Ukraine since the attack started nearly 3 weeks ago, according to the United Nations Human Rights Office, and U.S. officials expect the threat from Russian President Vladimir Putin will increase.
He's escalating. He's more prepared than ever to consider doing some unreasonable damage and terrible atrocities in Ukraine. Plus, he's looking for an opportunity to strike out at NATO.
The U.S. is sending 2 Patriot missile batteries to Poland to be used as a, quote, defensive deployment aimed at countering potential threats to the U.S. and its allies.
The pressure has risen a little bit, and that Putin is feeling it. He can't get back at the United States for the increasingly tough sanctions, so he's going to use what he has, which is the threat of weapons of mass destruction.
The UN says more than 2 million people have fled Ukraine since Russia invaded, and they're hoping for an end to the fighting.
We're not Nazi. We're just on other land with hands up. Please, we want to live. We want to be happy. Stop shooting, please.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Poland released a statement on Tuesday saying it was willing to deploy all their fighter jets to Ramstein Air Base in Germany for the U.S. The U.S., however, turned the offer down.
As we continue to keep you updated on the Russia and Ukraine conflict, we also want to make sure that you know about the temperature changes going into spring break week.
I hope it isn't too cold, because at that point, I'll just be inside my apartment. Ryan, what can we expect?
Folks, I hope you enjoyed these last few days of mild temps because it won't last, at least for Friday, but I will get into that in our 7-day. Currently across North Texas, we're looking at all temperatures in the low 50s. Paris at 51, Fort Worth at 54, Dallas at 53, Denton at 51, and the folks at Bowie at 50 degrees. Now across the state of Texas, we're looking at pretty much the same thing with a tad bit more variation. H-Town at 59, Shreveport at 49, and then El Paso way out there at 50 degrees. And now, here is my 7-day forecast. Pretty calm week ahead of us, except for Friday, where we see that cold front coming in, bringing in some rain, sleet, and even snow, and lowering those temperatures into the high 30s. However, Saturday onward, we'll see mild temps and sunny skies with a warming trend into spring break, so it should make for favorable conditions. That is all for my full weathercast. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Ryan. After searching all night, police have found a missing 5-year-old boy in Texas. The child went missing on Monday in the evening and spent the night outdoors in nearly 40-degree temperatures. The Bandera County Sheriff's Office located Cameron Michael via search helicopter walking in a field Tuesday morning. The boy was reunited with his mother and grandmother.
Floridian schools are seeing a change in what can be discussed in the classroom. Yesterday, Florida State Senate passed the Parental Rights in Education bill, more commonly known as the Don't Say Gay bill. CNN's Layla Santiago reports.
Despite the statewide protests,
show the Florida legislature that what they are doing does not represent us.
The emotional pleas.
I never knew that living my truth would cause church members to leave my dad's church. Or friends to stop talking to me.
22 yeas, 17 nays, Mr. President.
So the bill passes.
Florida's Senate today passed Bill 1557, a bill that essentially bars teachers from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity in the classrooms of young students. The bill calls for procedures to reinforce the fundamental right of parents and prohibits instructions on sexual orientation or gender identity in K through 3rd grade in a manner that is not age appropriate, but doesn't define what that means.
And we're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
There is no curriculum for K through third grade. And so if that's in sex education, so if that's the case, then what are we doing right now? Why is this even necessary?
Florida Democratic and openly gay Senator Chevron Jones argued the bill is a political move that is hurtful to the LGBTQ community. Critics refer to it as the Don't Say Gay bill, even though the bill does not specifically prohibit the use of the word gay. The spokesperson for Governor Ron DeSantis, however, on her personal Twitter account, has called it something very different, the anti-grooming bill, grooming a predatory practice used by sex offenders to gain trust and seduce children, which is not in the bill either.
There is an assertion that LGBTQ people simply by existing are a threat to children. That is bigotry. It's at the core of this bill.
The bill now heads to the desk of Governor Ron DeSantis, who is expected to sign it into law.
I think it's inappropriate to be injecting those matters like a transgenderism into a kindergarten classroom.
And to those who think you can legislate gay people away, I'm sorry. You cannot.
The bill is waiting to be signed into law by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis.
Vice President Kamala Harris is going to Poland. She left Joint Base Andrews in Maryland early Wednesday. Harris's trip comes a day after the U.S. rejected a surprise offer from Poland. Poland announced plans to make fighter jets available for the U.S. so they could be given to Ukraine to help battle Russian invaders. Pentagon Secretary John Kirby called the proposal too risky as the U.S. and NATO countries try to avoid a direct conflict with Russia. Harris is also scheduled to visit Poland. Officials said Harris's message to Poland and Romania is the U.S. stands by its NATO allies and will continue to support the Ukrainian people and that Russia will be defeated.
When we return, the mayor of Minneapolis faces backlash as new insight is shared about the handling of George Floyd protests.
And Seattle Seahawks is rumored to be trading the current quarterback.
Misinformation is all too common on social media. We take great pride in bringing you the news that matters, that impacts your family, news you can trust. Local broadcast journalists bring you the facts, covering the stories breaking in our community and across the globe. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on local journalism. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Almost 2 years after the death of George Floyd, a new report shed light on how the Minneapolis city mayor failed to follow proper procedures in response to Floyd's murder. CNN's David Schumann has the story.
I myself was tear gassed right out by the 3rd precinct.
Civilians during the unrest of 2020, 8 Minneapolis City Council members are now working to help improve the city's emergency response.
We had to defend our own homes, community members had to create their own public safety plans, and small businesses had to fend for themselves.
The council heard the anticipated findings Tuesday of an independent review of the city's response during the 10 days after George Floyd's murder. Auditors with law enforcement backgrounds reviewed thousands of documents, 30-plus hours of body camera footage, and interviewed 90 city officials and employees.
The city had emergency operations plans, as did the fire department, the police department. What we found is those weren't effectively utilized.
When the fire department took 2 hours, I felt like they could have put it out an hour and a half ago.
The researchers observed a lack of structure in the government and confusion of leadership that led to poor communication internally and with the public.
We found that there was a vast void in consistent rules of engagement or control. And that's relative to chemical munitions, less lethal munitions.
Nearly 100 people needed medical attention during the unrest for injuries from less lethal weapons.
The State Patrol and the National Guard, and they are moving.
National Guard deployment was delayed because Mayor Jacob Frey and the police didn't know how to properly ask for the help. The report offers hope, though, with 27 recommendations that the mayor says he's already begun implementing. Rebuilding trust between the community and the police is chief among them.
We heard from people, some that were critical of the department, but at the same time wanted the department to keep them safe.
House lawmakers wrote a letter to the United States Attorney General in regards to a situation with the national corporation Amazon. Members of the House Judiciary Committee say that a senior executive of Amazon lied about how they used the data it collects from third-party sellers. The lawmakers have been looking into Amazon from 2019 to 2020 for possible antitrust violations. Amazon claims it does not use data from third-party companies to help make their products. Lawmakers seem to think otherwise. Amazon has yet to respond. It seems like those lawmakers will be hard at work trying to figure out the truth from Amazon.
And if upholding the law seems like something you want to do as a future career, you may be interested in a particular career fair on campus. ntTV's Courtney Hill is at the Union with more. Courtney?
UNT is hosting a criminal justice career fair today from 1 to 4 p.m. The event is in the Union Ballroom 314A. It's an opportunity for students to learn about all the careers criminal justice has to offer. The participating agents include the FBI, the Internal Revenue Service, and the U.S. Marshal Service. Also later in the event, there will be various representatives from law schools for students to talk to. So make sure you dress for success and bring multiple resumes. Good luck, and back to you at the desk.
Texas native and country music star Casey Musgraves is named one of the Times 2022 Women of the Year and made the front page of the magazine. Musgraves talks about her journey as a woman in the music industry and the obstacles she had to overcome to become the Grammy-winning music star she is today. This issue also highlights influential women like Amanda Gorman, Kerry Washington, and many more.
The Seattle Seahawks have agreed to trade 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback to the Denver Broncos. Wilson has played his entire career in Seattle after being selected in the 3rd round of the NFL draft in 2012. Now the 33-year-old led the Seahawks to 8 playoff appearances. He also led the Seahawks to their first and only Super Bowl win in 2014 against the reported new team, the Denver Broncos. Wilson will also have to pass a physical and waive his no-trade clause for it to become official. The move cannot be official until March 16th, which is also the start of the 2022 NFL year. You know, I'm not much of a Seahawks fan, but I know that you probably are. Isn't that right, Jalen?
That's right, Andrea. I am in shambles because Russell Wilson is leaving us. I wonder how sports anchor Anthony Wynn feels about this. Anthony?
North Texas Mean Green is advancing. Mavericks are clinching the playoffs, and the Dallas Stars are using trick plays. Stay with us.
That was a really good movie. Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, so we have to watch the next one before next class, right? We do? I think so, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on Hulu, so... Man, I don't want to pay for that. So what do we do?
You think there's a place we could go to get the movie?
I'm not sure, maybe?
Oh, there's a place to get the movie.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, it's right here on campus. Come on, I'll show you.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
With a conference win, North Texas are on the road to the semifinals if they can pull off their next win. North Texas will travel to Frisco tomorrow to compete depending on the outcome between Charlotte and Rice. Fans will have the opportunity to travel to Frisco thanks to the Maniacs, who will be providing transportation on the day of the game. If interested, students are required to check their emails for updates within the upcoming week. After their win against UTEP, women's basketball are continuing to climb the ladder within their conference. Ali Gomez scored 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists to seal the win. They will be waiting to see their next opponent after the game between Old Dominion and UTSA. The Dallas Mavericks are on a 5-game win streak after defeating the Utah Jazz on Monday. Tonight, they will have Julius Randle and the Knicks in Dallas to gain the 6th-game win, and then to Houston to face Christian Wood and the Houston Rockets on Friday. Luka Doncic leading the Mavericks with 28 points, which makes them the 2nd in the Southwest and 5th overall. After the game with Utah, this is definitely could be the push that the Mavericks need in order to slide to the playoff bracket. The Dallas Mavericks are in talks of progressing to the 4th seed of the playoffs. Now the Dallas Stars are celebrating their victory win over the Winnipeg Jets after Jason Robertson scored an impressive goal with 30 seconds left in the period. Robertson did not work alone with the help of Dennis Gardner, scoring the tying goal within the 3rd period, and Braden Holtby, who acquired 39 saves. With this goal, Robertson now has 26 goals for the season, which is 9 more than last season. That's all I have for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tomorrow for the latest coverage here at North Texas Television.